Hello everyone and welcome. It is March 2019 and this is Brain Gainz, the show brought to you live from Bodybuilding.com headquarters. My name is Tyler, this is my good friend Alec. How you doing, bud?
Dude, I'm doing great. Found out that a litter of puppies that we are connected to got born today or yesterday, so good things.
Very exciting, cool. Don't forget, this is a open broadcast show, open format, meaning if you have a question about something that we talk about or something that you see, please feel free to post it in chat. If you miss us live, make sure you send us an email, brain.gainz@bodybuilding.com. So, Alec, we have another cool thing going on today. What do we got?
Well, if you look in front, we've got 3 products here. So on International Women's Day this past couple weeks ago, we launched our second line in the last couple years of private label products, Revel. So today we wanted to do a little giveaway for this. So lucky 5 people will win all 3 of these products. We'll have 5 stacks available. All we request is you wait for the keyword at the end of the episode, and that will be plugged in.
That's right. So just like last time, remember we gave away a couple stacks of the Bodybuilding.com signature products. Today we're being giving away 5 stacks of Revel products. That includes the Revel Protein, the Revel Recovery product, which is a little bit different, and we'll talk about that later, as well as the Revel pre-workout called the Revel Energy. So stick around. We have a password for you. There's going to be a link in chat, a link in the description. Follow the link, fill out the survey, put in the password, and you will have a chance to win.
To win the things.
Yeah, very cool. So stick around and we will give you that password soon. But today we are talking about exercise recovery. So what happens to you post-exercise? What are the pains that you're feeling? How can you deal with that muscle soreness afterwards? What can you do physically? What can you take supplement-wise? All that kind of stuff. So we're going to get into that. If you have any questions that are specific to that topic, again, please feel free to post those in chat. Also, if you missed this episode, if you are watching us on YouTube, please feel free to send us an email, brain.gainz@bodybuilding.com. So let's dive right in. We already have questions filtering in, so we will get to some of those kind of as we go. But to start off, let's just kind of jump in with something that I think pertains to really most people who exercise, right? It's called DOMS, or delayed onset muscle soreness. So if you've ever worked out, if you ever lifted really hard, you had a big day at the gym, you come home and you go to sleep, and the next day you wake up and you can't move, right? All the muscles that you worked out are stiff and sore, and they make it so, people who do leg day, they walk around with that. We've all seen that before. So what is DOMS? What are people dealing with there? What is the core of what's happening to them?
So with that, when you're training, in most cases, lactic acid buildup occurs over time because your microfibers are tearing in your muscles. And over time, that buildup will be there and you're just sore from that. So it's a bunch of microfiber tears and it happens to you, again, delay. So it's not gonna be immediate. It's gonna be, depending upon the individual and diet, supplementation, variety of factors, we'll set in.
So you mentioned lactic acid. Is lactic acid what's causing that pain?
With that, it depends on the individual with that. But I would say that it could be, again, a variety of factors with it. It could be just the muscle itself. Maybe you overworked it sometimes. Okay. But with this, lactic acid is a key contributor to DOMS.
Right, so lactic acid is definitely something that causes pain in the moment, right? We know that the biochemistry of how your energy systems work causes the buildup of lactic acid while you're doing that exercise. And so if you've ever been in the middle of a bench press set or squat set and you're feeling that burn in real time, that's definitely where lactic acid is playing a role in pain. But then you also mentioned those micro tears and the actual damage that you're doing to the muscle, and how that can be a really big contributor to the pain that's coming afterwards. Another thing that people don't consider is your body's response to those breaks and tears. So if you've ever been physically injured before, if you've gotten a cut or a scratch or something and you see the swelling and extra blood flow that's associated with that, that is also a key contributor to the pain. Your body is having an inflammatory response to the injury of exercise or to the stress that exercise caused. And so the delayed onset muscle soreness is the delay between the time that the injury takes place and your body's reacting to that. Now, I'm calling this response an injury or a breakage, and it sounds really scary, but I assure you that this is normal. When you're pushing your body hard, you will be pushing the limits of the structural integrity of your muscles, but the breakage and then your body's subsequent response to that, it's all completely normal. So now we talk about how do we mitigate some of that pain, how do we fight through it, how do we help our body recover more efficiently, maybe more quickly, maybe with a little bit less pain. Let's dive into some of that. Checking questions here. Looks like this is all stuff we're going to get to momentarily. So guys, hold on, we got you there, we see you. So one main question that I see a lot, and I wanted to address this like right now. Should I be working out while I'm sore?
Again, sore is completely subjective. So you could be, if you feel truly like you are having issues walking or to that degree, probably not ideal to do it. But a general amount of soreness is not a bad idea to train because you're actually getting extra blood flow to that area that will allow for a healing process too.
Yeah, so I think it all depends on the degree, right?
Yep.
So if I do a really big leg workout and I do it on Monday and I'm really pushing, I do 10, 15 exercises, I'm pushing really hard and I'm to the point where I really have a hard time walking the next day, that's really not the best time to work out. Your muscles are in like full recovery mode. They're trying to get all the blood that they can so that they can repair all the tears and deal with all the inflammation. And it is in that repair that muscle growth happens because your body is not only repairing what is fixed, but it is also preparing for what could be a similar or even bigger stress the next time you work out. And so it builds the muscles back bigger than they were before. All right, that's how muscle growth occurs. That's how hypertrophy takes place. So we want to give the muscles, the time that they need to build up, or else if you're constantly pushing them, constantly breaking down, then they're never going to have a chance to get any bigger. So we want to avoid that. Now, there's the other side. Can I work out a different part of my body while one part is sore? If I do a really big leg day on Monday, can I come in on Tuesday and work my chest really hard? I don't see why not.
No, it's not like you're deciding to do. Depending upon some programming and some practice, maybe squatting every day, you can probably pull it off, but it's not like you're going to hit the same percentage of a 1 rep max each time, or at least you shouldn't, in my opinion. But yeah, if you're staggering a training protocol with a push legs pull, and then you're adding a little bit of recovery time in there, maybe a rest day or two, yeah, that's completely doable. There's nothing wrong with that. I would say that's a method that's used primarily.
All right, so Almighty Banda from Twitch. Should I continue if my muscle feels sore or my thigh, example, like a quad? Like, should you continue working out if you're feeling soreness in that particular muscle group? I think it's okay to work out if you're a little bit sore. We like to practice something called active recovery, and this is a little bit different than strict passive recovery. This is a little bit different than going to the gym and working out hard. This is kind of somewhere in between. So let's go back to the doing leg day example, and you're pretty sore, and you want to continue exercising. You want to keep pushing towards those fitness goals, but you don't want to interrupt that process of recovery as well. So active recovery means doing something active, being out and going for a walk or riding your bike or going for a swim, doing something that stimulates the exercise response, but you're not pushing particularly hard. You're just out there doing it. Now, this does a couple of things. This allows you to continue burning calories, which is good. This also allows more blood flow to get to the muscles, right? We need to bring nutrients and all the things that the muscle needs to repair. We need to get there, and the more blood flow that happens, the faster that can take place. So active recovery is a good way to do that. That doesn't necessarily mean going into the gym and doing 100 lightweight squats. No. I know some people like to do stuff like that. I can go to the gym and I can continue doing the exercises, but at lighter weight. I don't generally recommend that, but just something outside, something passive. It's kind of fun. Let's see. Okay, let's see what else we got. Okay, so before we move on to kind of the next method, I just want to remind you guys, if you are interested, today we are giving away 5 full stacks of Revel products. Yes. Revel being our newest brand focused specifically on women. They've been formulated for women, and today we're giving away 5 stacks of 3 different products. This is the Revel Protein, this is the Revel Recovery product, and the Revel Energy product. I really, really like the Recovery product, especially for today, and it's stacked with collagen, HMB, BCAAs, and more. So we can talk a little bit more about those later. But if you're interested in submitting for one of these stacks, make sure you hit the link that's in the description. It's probably in chat, thanks to our awesome moderators. And then we will have a password for you very soon, and you can put all that in and enter, and we will get back to you very soon. So. Okay, let's talk about something that I see a lot of questions for. We're going to answer all these at once. Let's talk about mobility. So these are not really exercises that you do. This is not nutrition. This is activities you can do specifically for recovery. So things focused on mobility. I'm talking foam rolling, stretching, that kind of stuff. So let's talk foam rolling. This is kind of a question mark for a lot of people because there have been a lot of misinformation about how it works or what the best way to do it. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you think?
So the kind of getting into the rumor of it first. So foam rolling, most people assume that you're breaking up lactic acid buildup in your muscle, which isn't the case. Tyler touched on this earlier. That's more of the initial response to kind of like the soreness feeling. You're actually doing what's called myofascial release, which is you're breaking apart kind of you're kind of introducing blood to the areas that are sore. So the myofascia on top of the muscle, you're actually getting as much blood flow as you can there.
What's myofascial?
Myofascia is the sheath around a muscle.
Okay.
So you're trying to get as much blood flow into there to allow for a better recovery response, or inflammatory response to allow for more recovery.
Yeah.
And sorry, that was a lot to say right there.
That's okay. No, you're breaking up the muscle. I don't want to say breaking the muscle, but you're definitely applying a lot of pressure so that once you release that pressure, more blood can get in, right? And I think that's kind of the same ethos around how a massage works. Is right now some people are kind of afraid of massages, a lot of touching, but that's kind of it's kind of the same deal, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So is there a right way to foam roll? Is there a wrong way to foam roll? Can you do it too often? Like, what are your thoughts there?
I think you can never do it too often, frankly. Like if you're training a consistent amount significantly over time, like one thing that I would say majority of people neglect is mobility work. Myself, I try to hold myself accountable for it. I was in the room over this way rolling out this morning actually. But it's one thing that depending upon what you're training, our hip flexors are all significantly tight. If you sit at a desk all day, your traps are gonna be overactive. You're gonna be sore that way, rolling out your back, your lats, your shoulders, whole 9 yards. You can't really not foam roll enough. Yeah. It's just how it is.
It can be a little weird sometimes. I know, like if you need to foam roll like your traps or your chest, you kind of got to be in like a weird position to kind of make it happen. But I assure you, getting that pressure on there, it's actually very focused due to the curve of the foam roller itself. Definitely recommend. Now, there's different levels of foam rollers. They come in different intensities of density. They also come like knobbed as well and specially shaped. Try them out. See what you like. See what you don't like. I definitely have favorites in our little exercise room, and I have ones that are definitely not my favorite. But everyone's got their preference, so make sure you try that out. Okay, stretching. There's two different types of stretching. There's static and dynamic stretching. We've all seen static because that's what they make you do in PE class all the time, where you literally just reach. Or static means that you are not moving, and that you go into the stretch position and you hold and you stretch and you're stretching. And it definitely has its place. But then there is also dynamic stretching, and dynamic stretching is just that. Dynamic means that you are constantly moving. So if you're doing like across the chest, it's like push, push, push. Instead of holding in one position, you are constantly pushing against that. And to my knowledge, the research suggests that dynamic stretching is actually a little bit more effective at stretching out the muscles, whereas static stretching, especially when cold, when you're not warmed up, can end up being a little bit more detrimental than dynamic. Static definitely has its place, especially at the end of the workout. It can be a really great way to allow those muscles to relax a little bit. The standard practice that I do, I don't know if this is like highly researched, at least I haven't read it, but I do 2 to 3 sets of like 30-second holds on those static stretches, and it seems to work out pretty well. But I would always start with dynamic stretching, use it as a way to warm up, either right before or right after a nice little jump on the treadmill, and use it as a way to get blood flowing into the muscles before you start. So there you go. Let's bring in a couple of these questions. We've been kind of plowing through some of this information, so let's go back and look at some of these questions, and hopefully we can help you guys out a little bit. So Rahul on YouTube asks, is it okay to take a week off, especially if your strength is decreasing?
I mean, that could be a variety of factors. If you've been overtraining for X period of time, maybe you've been pushing a little hard in the strength department. Maybe instead of taking you could take a full week off, but maybe just doing a deload and doing like half the working sets, or maybe doing 40 to 50% of whatever you've been working with, just to keep your joints warm and you're still doing the movement, can be a good way to recover. But there's nothing wrong with taking a week off. It's not like you're going to lose your gains by any means.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big proponent of pushing hard through the pain. Your body knows when it can go harder, and if you're in a lot of pain, it's physically telling you to take a break. So if you're feeling a lot of pain, especially in a specific muscle group, take a break. Especially over the course of the week, you're not going to be losing crazy amounts of strength over that time. In fact, you will probably lose very, very little, and it may be worth taking that couple extra days off from a muscle group in order to rest it. So yes, take a break. Let's see.
Here's one I'd like to address,
yes,
actually.
Please.
So YouTube, Steven, what are the best ways to recover from endurance exercises such as long walks or runs? So sometimes if you push yourself too much, you endure what I'm currently dealing with, which is an IT band flare-up. So my knee is not digging running for a bit. So you take time off from doing that. But to avoid getting to that point, your mileage isn't as detrimental to what you're doing. I would say, like most things, you just stagger your running. I mean, running a long distance every day is not sustainable. You shouldn't do that. Know that you need to increase your food. If you've been dealing with endurance,
calories is huge.
Calories are huge, especially with recovery, because you're able to fuel your body to properly activate with all of that. Stretch, everything we've talked about. Get a big resistance band if you want to keep your hips tight, or not tight, excuse me, if they are tight like mine. Foam roll, warm baths, Epsom salt. Like there's so many different ways you can get about it.
Can you go into that a little bit? Epsom salt.
So Epsom salt baths, you can just, you'll see a lot of like either pro athletes like do this, or just the average gym goer. They'll toss some Epsom salt in a bath and soak in it. And historically, Epsom salt baths have been used for a variety of factors to decrease swelling in certain areas. But yeah, a lot of people just soak, and it helps with some of them DOMS.
That's right. Okay. Kara K from YouTube, taking a steam bath after a workout, does this increase recovery? So I think definitely applying heat in a lot of different ways, whether it be steam or a hot shower or a hot bath or what have you. Heat is good for recovery in that it allows all the blood vessels, even the ones that are the most superficial on your skin, to remain open, right? So when you apply cold, whether it's ice or whether you're outside in the cold, the blood vessels tend to restrict, and that can mean less blood flow for those muscles that are looking to recover. Whereas if you're applying heat, you're allowing those blood vessels to remain big and wide, and we can get more blood flow in there. Now, is it going to cure your DOMS? Will you walk away completely DOM-free? Absolutely not. It doesn't happen that quickly, unfortunately. But will it contribute? Sure. Absolutely. Okay, we haven't. I'm skipping a couple questions here because they're focused on nutritional aspects, so we will get to those in just a minute. Let's see. Trevor from Facebook asked, deloading to improve DOMS, does DOMS ever go away? I think that second part is actually a really great question. Does DOMS ever go away? Am I ever going to get to a point where I'm not experiencing delayed onset muscle soreness?
I would say probably not. Maybe, like, depending upon if you're a freak, if you're a Kryptonian, who knows?
Oh, yes, the Kryptonians.
But I don't know. I've been training for 10 plus years and I still get DOMS.
I think it depends on the intensity, right? So you're in a position where you're always pushing. You're always trying to reach that next level of strength. And most people experience DOMS most effectively right when they start working out, and as you continue to work out at a particular intensity, those DOMS tend to go away, and that's because your body is physically adapting to lifting that much. So if you're bench pressing 150 pounds, and the first time you bench press 150 pounds, it hurts, it's hard, and you wake up the next day and you're sore and it's a lot. But then, in response to that lift and in response to that soreness, your body builds back stronger. So the next time you lift 150 pounds, you're a little bit more ready for it. Now, you may not be 100% ready for it. The next time you do it, it might still hurt again, and it might still hurt again the next time. But every time you do it, you're getting better at it, and your body is stronger, and your body is adapting to that particular stress. And so after a while, you're going to be to the point where lifting 150 pounds is not causing any injury. It's not causing any stress, it's not causing any muscle tears, because you have adapted to that particular weight. So if you are exercising at one intensity, then yeah, you'll get to a point where it doesn't hurt anymore, but you're also not progressing your goals. So if you want to continue to get stronger, you have to continue to push, and you have to continue going beyond that adaptation response, and so you will be experiencing DOMS a little bit worse, or sorry, not worse, but you will continue to see it. Now, I have heard from a couple of different sources that your body does get better at responding to things, and so that first time might actually be the worst. But will it ever go away? I don't think it'll ever go away if you keep pushing. If you're always trying to get stronger, then you want it to hurt a little bit. You want it to give you that feedback, right? And
one more question before we segue into the nutrition aspect of this. Great segue from what you were just talking about.
Yes, sir.
YouTube from Leroy. If you go into DOMS but continue to push, it can cause tendinitis. So that's hard to say just because we're all different with that. Some we may be more genetically predisposed to tendon issues and you might have a connective tissue issue to begin with. One, we are not people that should tell you yes or no on that one.
Yeah.
But if you push yourself in regardless of the exercise, injury can occur.
Yeah, I mean, tendinitis is a function of either overuse or improper form, generally speaking. That's why we see it in a lot of professional athletes and such. But when it comes to how do you fix tendinitis, just like Alex said, we are not the experts there. We are We are trying to teach you here from Bodybuilding.com. We are not doctors, so if you have an issue with an overuse injury or an actual injury, please go see a medical professional, because that is a little bit beyond our scope. So let's segue into the next section, nutrition. Before we do, don't forget, if you are interested in one of the stacks of the new Revel products that we're giving away today, make sure you click on the link that we have down either below in the description or in the chat, and you'll have a chance to win one of 5 stacks of Revel products. That includes a protein product, the Revel recovery product, and the Revel energy product, all made specifically for women. So we're really excited to give those away. We have a password associated with that survey, so we'll be giving that away in just a little bit. We're very close, so thanks for sticking with us. But yes, nutrition. So what is something that what can I consume in order to make recovery more efficient? So let's kind of start at the top and then work our way down. So when we recover, what is happening? We need to build back the energy resources that we used up during our exercises. And so making sure that you have the proper calories in order to allow your body to recover is really important. So Alex, tell us a little bit about glycogen. Like what is the deal there? What role does it play in exercise, and how do I get it back?
So glycogen is the body's storage of carbohydrates for energy within your body, usually in your liver or in your muscle tissue. We have a limited amount in our body at a time, so that's one of the reasons why we are required to feed, to refuel it up.
That's right.
So when you exercise, you're burning through that storage. So how do you get it back? Eat more food. Glycogen is a carbohydrate, like I said, so eat carbs.
There you go. Right, it's a finite resource. Your body has X number of grams of carbohydrate stored, mostly in your muscles as glycogen, and as you exercise, you're going to deplete that amount. So generally, we don't see people go through complete depletion of glycogen unless you're doing a glycogen depletion exercise, which exists in some studies if you'd like to learn more about those. Generally, we don't see people go all the way through it, but you do go through a lot of what you have stored. And so how do you get it back? You have to consume it. And so just like Alex said, it is a carbohydrate. So eating depending on what exercises you're planning on doing both the day of and the day after, eating carbohydrates, whether they be simple or complex, is very important. That's why we recommend allowing yourself to have a carbohydrate-filled life is okay. People who are in keto kind of have a different set of chemical resources for their energy, and we're not going to dive deep into that. But generally, people are using glycogen for energy, so consuming enough carbohydrates as a part of your diet is important. So make sure you do that. Protein. Let's talk about protein. So everyone wants to know, should I be drinking my protein shakes? What role do those play in? How do you see protein fitting into the role of recovery?
So it goes down to what we're talking about, recovery. So when you train, you're breaking apart muscle tissue. Muscle tissue down at the core of it, amino acids and protein. So protein to build back the muscle fibers. So yes, it is important to consume protein. Protein and carbohydrates for recovery are essential. And whether it be a whole food source or it be supplementation, that's up to you. Again, it's a busy time in 2019. So if you have the ability to make a full meal afterwards, go do it to it. But if you're on the go, that's why products such as this exists.
That's right. That's why we always make that little comparison. Protein is the building blocks of what muscle is made of, and you have to give your body the building blocks it needs to build that muscle back up, right? So it's very simple, kind of childish comparison, but that's exactly how it works. I see a question from YouTube: BCAAs versus EAAs. So what's the difference there? What role do those play, and where do they fit compared to protein?
So in previous episodes, we've kind of talked about a good, better, best system when it comes to protein. So the best would be, obviously, you get whole food sources, or the kind of the good would be getting a protein powder, and then a little bit underneath that would be like an EAA or a BCAA. So EAAs have BCAAs in them. So your leucine, valine, and isoleucine. Those are part of the essential amino acids. Now, essential amino acids have an additional amount that allow for additional recovery. So it's just kind of, instead of using a 9 iron, you're deciding to use your driver a little bit.
There you go. So think of protein as all 20 amino acids that are available, so everything that your body could possibly need. Unfortunately, with that comes some extra calories because generally whey protein also comes with some carbs and some fats and that kind of stuff. EAAs, or essential amino acids, are the amino acids that your body can't make by itself, right? You have to consume those, and it is all 9 of them all put together. And then finally, BCAAs. The reason that we sometimes focus on BCAAs is because we've found, especially leucine, is really important for activating your muscles and telling them to start building up. So that is kind of the most compact version of what that means. Every one of them has their role. Every one of them has its pluses and minuses. You just have to decide what's best for you. There is no right answer to which one is best. You just have to do what we do our best to tell you what's in each one, what's good, what's bad, and then you make that decision for yourself. Let's see. I'm trying to get some questions here. What is the best supplementation to reduce DOMS, EAAs versus whey protein powder? Thank you, Eric from YouTube. Consuming the right diet, I think, is best for helping with DOMS, right? So making sure that your body has what it needs, whether it be protein, whether it be carbs, whether it be BCAAs or EAAs, making sure you're giving your body everything it needs in order to rebuild what has been broken is most important. I know that's kind of a vague answer, but again, it means something a little bit different to everyone. And so the best answer is probably a balanced diet, but then sometimes supplements can help you kind of fill in the holes.
And something to kind of consider with that as well, I know we're talking about amino acids in this case, but your electrolyte balance is also huge when it comes to recovery in this aspect. When you burn through your potassium and sodium storage within your muscles, cramping can occur. That's why you get super sore. Like me, after if I run a little bit more on like an upper body day, I'm more likely to cramp up that day because I haven't replaced my sodium and potassium properly. So that, including those in your diet, due to like potatoes are huge for potassium, as well as bananas. Thinking from that aspect nutritionally is also a huge major.
Absolutely. Garita from Twitch has a pretty good question. What are some things that people don't always think about when recovering that could help?
I love that question because you have the mentality of no days off. Get that out of here because days off are necessary. That's why people don't recover. They don't try to sleep enough. They don't try to eat enough. They don't try to stretch enough. All the things we've kind of touched on, they just aren't doing them.
Yeah.
And whether it be you just kind of get ahead of yourself and you're like running short on time, you have to make time.
Yeah. So rest is okay. Don't be afraid to rest. That is something that people tend to overlook. Just like Alex said, days off are okay. Please take advantage of them. Okay, let's talk about some supplements that may be helpful with recovery. So this is not protein. These are some things that are maybe a little bit unique.
And these are fun because most people don't necessarily know them unless they read a SuppleFacts panel, which is a whole different monster to get into. But so today we really want to talk about kind of collagen. That's a kind of hot topic in the last couple of years. Collagen, whether it be beauty, skin, or nails, or what it can actually do with recovery, which that's kind of an aspect that most people don't really think about.
Absolutely. Yeah, so collagen is a peptide, right? So it's short strands of amino acids, not necessarily full big pieces. But collagen is actually, and this was something that I was even surprised to find out, collagen is the most prominent protein in your body. Like out of all of them, collagen is number one. It is in your muscles. It is in your connective tissue. It's in your skin. It is everywhere. And so having collagen has actually been shown to have really great effects on recovery, whether it's delayed onset muscle soreness or how you feel from a mobility standpoint. And it's even been shown to help with skin health and eye health and that kind of stuff. So collagen's really cool. And we see it in a number of different doses. The dose actually kind of depends on the form of collagen. There's type 1, there's type 2. We've seen doses anywhere from half a gram all the way up to 12 grams. Anywhere in between can also be very helpful. Actually, the Revel recovery product contains 5 grams of collagen, Fortigel collagen that has been clinically tested to help with mobility, help with flexibility, and exercise recovery. So we're really excited about that one. Another one I wanted to talk about that a lot of research has been done on by Rick Kreider out of Texas. Tart Cherry. So what's Tart Cherry? What's it do for you?
Tart Cherry is it's an ingredient that is getting a lot of buzz in terms of recovery, actually, hence why we're talking about it. But Tart Cherry it's an extract from cherries.
That's right.
Of all things.
Tart ones,
very tarty. So it's the biochem on it. I know Tyler's a little bit more averse to that, or not averse. He's more knowledgeable when it comes to Tart Cherry than I am. But when it comes down to it, I think a lot of products you're going to see are going to be including Tart Cherry.
That's right, absolutely. And then finally, one we wanted to talk about was HMB. This is another kind of hot topic right now, and I've seen a lot of arguments kind of on both sides about whether H&B is effective, who it's for, what it's best for. We actually included H&B in our Revel recovery product as well, but before we talk about why, let's talk about what it is. H&B, the long name is beta-hydroxybeta-methylbutyrate, which is a fun word, but H&B works as well and is actually a metabolite of leucine. Remember, leucine is the most important branched chain amino acid. And the general consensus is that if you are an elite athlete, if you are kind of at the top, if you're working hard consistently, and you feel like you're getting pretty close to the peak and you want something that can help you get that little step further, H&B can help you not only with feeling a little bit less of the delayed onset muscle soreness, but with actually improved gains in lean muscle mass from the exercise that you're doing. So really, really interesting ingredient. We're excited to see where research goes on that one, but so far it looks pretty cool.
And H&B also happens to be in the Revel recovery.
That's right. Let's see. Umesh from YouTube, apart from protein, what are some micronutrients important for recovery and DOMS management? So you touched on electrolytes a little bit. You want to go in a little bit deeper there?
So you have, paying attention to sodium, paying attention to potassium. You can dive into calcium. That's going to help with bones and muscles. You can dive into vitamin. You want to get into vitamins. With it, vitamin D is important when it comes down to that.
Absolutely.
There's so many. When it comes to micronutrients.
Maintaining a balanced diet like we mentioned before, but if you're unable to do that, a multivitamin will help you fill in all those gaps. I really don't know of a lot of instances where overdosing or overloading on a micronutrient is going to take you to that next step. Now, having decrements in your micronutrient profile, if you're not getting a particular vitamin, that can cause problems, but I don't think going above and beyond has superpower benefits.
No.
Right? So just making sure you're hitting those 100% RDIs. It's like a check mark. There you go. That's a good one. Helena from YouTube, will collagen break my fast if I'm practicing intermittent fasting? I say yes.
Yeah.
It does contain calories. We do list it on the label as containing calories. And if you want to be super strict to intermittent fasting, I would say that it would. Okay, let's see. Which BCAA powder is better? The basic one with isoleucine, leucine, and valine, or some kind of other things? So you listed, this is Verinder from YouTube, you listed actually all of the BCAAs, and if you're talking about some other things, then those other things are there for other purposes.
Yes.
Whether those other things are the other essential amino acids, now you have an EAA product and that has its benefits, or it has other ingredients like Tart Cherry or collagen or H&B, then maybe it's more effective for recovery. But that really depends on the product, and I can't really speak to which formulation you're talking about, but every ingredient has its place. Let's see. We got some other questions here. Let's see. How do you recover from calf soreness, Alec?
How? From calf soreness? Ooh.
Is there anything special about calf soreness that's hard?
The fact that you're walking more. Obviously, they're going to be more activated if you're moving around. Maybe be sedentary.
Yeah, so as silly as it sounds, so Alec actually hit the nail on the head. Calves are tough because you have to move, you have to walk around, and unless your job is to sit in bed all day, then you got to go somewhere and you got to be on the move. We talked about active recovery and how useful that can be, but even then, there are some days where rest can be really important, and so this is where what Alex spoke about with taking rest days purposefully, being I don't want to use this word twice, but being purposeful about your rest can be very helpful there. So good luck with calves. That sucks, man. I've been there. Let's see. Can overstretching cause injury? This is a really good one. So can you go too far with your stretches?
Yeah, you might be lead to further micro tears that turn into a major tear.
That's right. So you can actually stretch your muscles too far. Your muscles work on an overlap matrix, and you can actually pull those muscle fibers too far apart, causing them to be a little bit less effective and potentially cause tears. So that's very scary. Randy from YouTube has a really good question. Are BCAAs necessary if I'm already taking whey and casein?
If you have issues with drinking enough water, then no. But the point of those other two products is that they're better for amino acid
that's
consumption.
Right. If you're eating a complete balanced diet, nope, you don't need it. If that protein that you're taking the whey, the casein, is helping you hit those protein goals for the day and your calories are good, you're good.
Yep.
Especially with whey protein and casein, they're both really high in leucine and the BCAAs, so you're already probably getting plenty there, so good for you. We have some other questions that we pulled from a community post that we had a couple days back. If you guys aren't following the community page on the Bodybuilding.com YouTube, make sure you do. We do post questions on there sometimes that we answer here. From Wakten, should I work out other muscle groups while recovering? Like, can I work out my legs while I'm working on my chest? Yes. We had talked about that before. Those are kind of, as long as you're not reactivating the muscles that are currently recovering.
Yep.
good to go. How to best treat muscles that are sore from the previous day. Do you let them completely rest? Do you do a light workout? Do you stretch them, etc.? And I think we touched on that one as well, right? Make sure you're doing some active recovery, and if you really went deep, then doing some full-on like rest is entirely okay as well. And then we've actually also touched on some supplements and nutrition things that you can do as well. So there you go. All right, cool. Anything else?
There's something we need to do.
What is that?
We need to.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the password for the stacks. If you have been watching, you know that we are giving away 5 stacks of 3 different Revel products. A line that we made focused for women, but is actually also very useful for male exercisers as well. Today we're giving away, like I said, 5 stacks that contain the recovery product, the protein, and the energy product. If you're interested, there is a link in the description and in the comments to the side of us here. Follow the link, and it's going to ask you for a password, and then you're just going to fill out that survey, and then we'll be choosing winners on Friday. Or sorry, it will close on Friday at midnight. We'll probably choose the winners early next week. So make sure you enter before Friday at midnight. That'll be Friday night at midnight, Friday the 22nd. So make sure you do it before then. So follow the link, go there, type in the password Revel Strong, REVELSTRONG, all lowercase, all one word, Revel Strong. Type it in, get some stacks. It's going to be great. I really wish you guys luck. These are really awesome products that we got to help formulate, help taste test, help put to the test. We're very excited to ship them out and let you try them as well.
Yes.
Man, the apple pear energy tastes like apple cider. It's crazy.
And seriously though, recovery-wise, this is probably one of the more exciting products that we've been able to put out
100%.
without a doubt.
Right, so we talked about collagen, we talked about H&B. It also contains coconut water powder for that hydration aspect as well, some branched chain amino acids. This is super duper. So it is not your like main protein source, but we talked about the usefulness of collagen, how it's a protein that is super common in your body and how useful we found it to be. This is a really great product to take immediately after exercise for really great recovery. So we're very excited about that one. So let's wrap it up with some things that we have that are new on site. If you haven't been on site lately, here's some things that are coming either live now or coming very, very soon.
Yes.
First one, obviously, is the Revel line. This stack is not all that's available. Revel contains a protein, the energy, the recovery, but also a green tea product, a multivitamin, a metabolism booster, and a probiotic. Make sure you check those out. Revel, you can also check them out at revelstrong.com. It looks really good. Also, RX Bar is coming to Bodybuilding.com very soon, so if you've seen those bars that have all the ingredients listed on the front, whether it's the egg and the granola and all that kind of stuff, those are coming very soon. Yes. Lots of good flavors there. And GAT NitroFlex Burn is coming as well. Or is it here?
It's now.
It's now.
It's now.
There you go. Flavors.
Flavor additions. So, NutriBio's Isolate came out with some fun ones. I think they brought these on right around National Pancake Day last week or the week before.
That was a good day.
Pancake and maple syrup, cinnamon sugar donut, and blueberry muffin.
Man,
nice job.
Blueberry muffins. There you go. GAT Flex BCAA is coming out in pineapple mango, rainbow candy, orange burst, jelly bean, and sour ball. Don't we live in like the best world of flavors?
I know.
I mean, Jesus. And then finally, Dymatize Elite 100% Whey 5-pound is now coming in raspberry cheesecake. And then finally, some deals that we have going on. It is here, the birthday cake sale at Bodybuilding.com. Our birthday cake protein is now back in action. Make sure you check it out. It now has sprinkles.
It does have sprinkles.
If you missed the sprinkles last year in that awesome protein, they're in there. Check it out. It looks awesome. We also have an extra 15% off site-wide, as well as up to 30% off whey isolates, so make sure you check it out. Don't forget, if you are interested in one of the 5 Revel stacks of recovery, protein, and energy, follow the link either in the comments or in the description below. Enter the password RevelStrong, REVELSTRONG. It's going to be great, guys. Again, that closes on Friday night at midnight, and then we'll be picking early next week. Thank you so much for joining us today. It has been a pleasure having you. We will see you next time on Brain Gainz. Until then, keep on lifting.
You have a goal. We have a plan. Bodybuilding.com All Access. Premium fitness plans to achieve your weight loss goal. Jumpstart your results with Shortcut to Shred or 30 Days Out. Get shredded with Chisel or go hardcore with Chris Gethin. Each plan includes daily workouts, training tips, nutrition and supplement guides, and more. Everything you need, all in one place at Bodybuilding.com All Access.